Welcome to the Nicholas 11X12 technology. Today we're looking at the Patriot Viper 3 8GB DDR3-2133 Memory Kit, the specific model being PV38G213C1K. Alright, here's the packaging. Again, we're looking at the Patriot memory kit here, the Viper 3 kit, 8GB of capacity, two 4GB modules, DDR3 of course, and PC3 17,000, so 2133 MHz. Things that are advertised on the packaging itself are DDR3, the advanced cooling, which you can see here, and these memory modules are 100% hand tested, which is very nice actually. So you should pretty much know the RAM you bought actually works and is capable of running at the listed frequency. This kit also is XMP ready and is specifically designed for the Intel 6 and 7 series platforms. This doesn't mean it isn't compatible with the AMD platforms though. Here on the right you can see one module through the plastic and the other one on the other side. And on the right is a description in different languages. But now let's open up this packaging. There we go, the memory is protected very well, although I'd like to see a more eco-friendlier packaging next time. Enough about the packaging though, let's get to the memory itself now. So here's the RAM. Just so you know, Patriot offers the same type of design on their memory in different colors. You can get these modules in red, green, blue, and black, which is the kit I'm reviewing here. The red modules are called Venom Red, the green ones Jungle Green, the blue ones Intel Extreme Masters, these are limited edition ones, and last but not least, the black modules are called Black Mamba, which is a snake. That's pretty cool. Up here, as you can see, is a little Patriot logo, and below a nice big Viper logo. On the other side is the complete model name along with some specifications. I find it very nice of Patriot to list the timings on the modules actually, because sometimes when you run into a platform that doesn't support XMP, or maybe you don't want to use XMP, you don't know which timings to set up in the BIOS. Trust me, some manufacturers don't list the timings on the modules, and so you have to look these up on the internet. This Patriot memory kit runs at 1.5 volts, which is super low for 2133 MHz. The lower the better of course, less power is consumed and less heat produced. The upper part of the heatsink has some cutouts for ventilation, although not the best cooling is actually present here. But hey, these modules are only operating at 1.5 volts. A matte black PCB is used, and that's just fantastic in terms of the aesthetics. I'm sure the RAM will look outstanding in the system. The top also looks very beautiful and elegant. This would be the right word for this RAM kit, elegant. But let's go ahead and install this kit into my system. And that's how it looks like. I really care much about the looks when it comes to my main system, and I can confirm this memory kit looks awesome, although this is a matter of taste actually. Alright, but let's get more technical now, and here are the specifications. This is a Patriot Viper 3 memory kit, the specific model being PV38G213C1K. That's DDR3 memory. PC3 17,000, so the memory frequency is 2133 MHz. 8GB of capacity is offered, and that's shared in two 4GB modules. The timings are CL11, 11, 11, 27, and this kit operates at a low voltage of just 1.5 volts. Intel XMP 1.3 is supported. In CPU-Z, I just want to let you know the Intel Core i7-3770K processor will be used for the testing. The memory gets detected without any problems and it runs at the rated frequency. You could set everything up manually in the BIOS, but I went with the XMP profile, which can be very useful when overclocking. The dual channel technology is used, and of course the frequency, as you can see, is 1066 MHz, times 2 equal 2133 MHz. Again, very high frequency indeed, but the cast latency, the timings are not very tight. The lower the timings, the better. This pretty much is a trade-off. We have higher DRAM frequency, but to maintain stability, latency has to be sacrificed. But still 11, 11, 11, 27 isn't too bad anyways for 2133 MHz. It would be bad if this was just a 1866 or 1600 MHz RAM kit, but this isn't the case here. Although sometimes you can play around with the timings. You could lower the DRAM frequency to like 2000 MHz and therefore also decrease the timing numbers to like CL10 for example, which is good. but I wouldn't recommend doing this because most of the time the PC could randomly crash due to a timing error. But let's move on to the benchmarks. So the Patriot Viper 3 8GB DDR3-2133 RAM is a very well performing memory kit for a reasonable price. The frequency of 2133 MHz is very high, but the voltage of just 1.5 volts very low. However, the timings aren't the best. It's noticeable in synthetic tests, but in a real life scenario you wouldn't notice any difference when compared with the ADIDA 2000 MHz CL9 kit. What really fascinated me was the stability and flexibility. I ran these modules at 1333, 1600, 1866 MHz and so on with unconfirmed unofficial timings, and it was perfectly stable. Even for enthusiasts, I would say it's a great buy, especially if you care on the looks, the aesthetics of your system just as much as I do. However, the design and colors are always a matter of taste, but I personally am really pleased with the performance results and the design. And what else do you want? Great performance, great design for the right price, and that's what this kit is all about. Pros are good price-performance ratio, great performance, then this kit is very stable, operates at a low voltage for 2133 MHz, and has a beautiful design. For the cons I can only say one thing, it doesn't have the best timings, but that's all. Other than that, it's fantastic RAM and I give it a 9 out of 10 and would definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.